Any and all questions, welcome, guys. We're just going to stay until we answer them. I apologize, and I appreciate all the people that stuck with us through this. I have no idea what just happened. I went through checking 3 different microphones, and it's just been no fun. Sounds good. That's great. Any and all questions are great. While I'm waiting on questions, I will let you know we only sell programs once a month. That's because we partner with people. We want to limit the number of people that can come on board. We run an audit and double check, make sure that we're good with that. We're very conservative about that, always have been. Next sale is going to be the 1st of September, start at 10 a.m. Eastern, end at 10 p.m. Eastern. I believe Jeff put a link on here, but if not, I will give you a direct link where you can reserve your spot if that's something you're interested in. Something that's really exciting for me is, our number one National Surplus Funds program and the Panning for Hidden Surplus Funds program have been going neck and neck, and Panning usually pulls out ahead a little bit in the numbers as far as conversions and that type of thing. We are going to offer that again. Typically, you had to buy the Platinum bundle in order to get the Panning system. We're going to offer it for $9.97 for one day. Platinum, by the way, is $19.97. So that's kind of a big deal. And Panning is going after non-judicial mortgage foreclosures. So you can't get a list of these mortgage overages in these 20-some states. Because we can teach you how to accurately figure out what the amount should be in there being held, not just looking at opening bid and final sales price, but a couple of different things too. Because we can figure out how to do that, teach you how to do that, it's kind of a big deal, and nobody else is really doing it but us, at least not effectively. And we have like zero competition in this niche, so it's been unbelievable. We started this, launched it one day, January of 2023, and then only had it in the Platinum, and now we're looking to expand it a little bit more because we did add some states too. Those of you guys that follow my videos too on YouTube realize that recently Pete had a couple in a row. By the way, the best we've had on anybody doing a single month is 30 grand. No joke, as a researcher for us. A little over 30, actually. Pete's going to be darn close to that over the last 30 days. But we've got a couple of people like that have been with us for years and just keep pounding it out. I have some people that do this part-time. It's a great side hustle. Or, of course, some people that just start, but they do it on their own. Partnership program. This is from YC829. Sorry for the delay in that. With the National Surplus Funds Partnership Program, how long can someone remain a researcher with SFR? Is there a limit to the number of files lists that researchers can submit per month? Hey, there is no deadline. Stay with us forever. We've had people that have come and gone, people that have come, worked with us for a year, put some money in their pocket, started doing it on their own, decided later, you know what, we don't need the headache and we don't have to wear 20 hats. So we're going to go back to work with Sean. I get that a lot. Other people kind of graduate out, kind of start doing their own deals. They want to make a slightly higher percentage, even though our cuts are really high, in my opinion. And they'll start doing it on their own. I got a lot of people that just plain stick with us. I have some great people that are part of the team and they stick with us. So there is no limit on how long you can stick with us. And as far as how many you guys can support, that's a great question. How many can you submit to us? It's 100 a month is the limit. And I'll tell you why we set it at that. We are not set up. We did not launch this to have people with large teams working with us and running over the individuals. This is kind of, when it's a partnership program, it's designed to be either just with you individually or with you and maybe a partner, like a business partner or a family member. It's not really designed for you to bring on 20 virtual assistants and just throw that at us. That's just not what we're set up for, and that was never our intent. Thumbs up. Riley, how long does it take with National Surplus Funds to get a file under contract? So it depends. We've had stuff, as far as getting it under contract, we've had stuff under contract literally in a couple days. I'm not kidding, because we just happened to call them, got them, we're done. It has taken up to, the normal is about a month, though, because typically we have to do 3 or 4 mailings and 3 or 4 calls just to get a return call. And we also got to then set up the mobile notary, get in front of them, which we do. Speed counts. We do all this stuff fast, but the average is around a month, just because you got to build credibility. We have, of course, online website. We have all this stuff. We're sending mailings, real mailings, and we're calling them, but it can take 3, 4 calls and mailings for them to believe us and to give us a return call, or for us to catch them And then we will have that conversation. We also do what's called a takeaway. This is important for you guys that are concerned in business. If you're thinking about how to do this, this is the most powerful thing we do. At a certain point, after a certain number of calls and a certain number of mailings, we will say or put in the mailing something to the effect of, hey, trying to reach you, you're not returning our calls or responding to our mailings. Understand and respect that. We're going to go see, and it's true, we're going to go double check and see if maybe there's some debt, a creditor out there that we can work with instead of you. Just giving you a heads up. Thank you. Click, or that's in the mailing. Phone rings off the hook. Zig Ziglar said it. The fear of loss outweighs the desire for gain, and that's true. So when you have the guts to be able to walk away, not people do, many people do, when you have the guts to use a takeaway clause, it really pays off. So it's about a month to get it under contract on average. At that point, we're under contract. We've gotten the contracts back, sent it to our attorney. Within 10 business days, we're sending a check for 10% up to $10,000 to the claimant, and we tell them that up front. That's why we convert as well as we do, right? Because we're sending them 10% as good faith money, up to 10 grand as good faith money within 10 business days after they sign our contract. Nobody else is doing that. Then at that point, the attorney's either getting on the docket to meet with the clerk or getting it out and getting it reviewed. Now, they will either be in front of that clerk or get everything reviewed within a month. At that point, it's granted, and it's going to take about a month on average. I'm giving you guys all conservative numbers. We've had stuff pay a lot faster, but just consider a total of 3 months. That's why we just started. We were always giving cash advances. We go under contract. If you want an advance, we've always given $500 as cash advance if you want it. Okay. At that point, when it's under contract, it's checked with the attorneys. We'll give you $500. Well, we figured let's even make it more interesting, especially for those of you guys who want to buy the National Surplus Funds Program. It's $597. Your first advance can be $597. So if we get it under contract in a month or less, you're going to get your money back. I mean, you could literally get your money back before your credit card statement ends. That's kind of a big deal, I think. Okay. Next one. So you guys provide the leads, lawyers, etc. Okay, Kevin, we don't share that. In other words, if you're going to partner with us, your job is to get a list. This is with the National Surplus Program, okay? Get a list online. We teach you how to do all this. Get a list, research the debt. If there was additional debt against that property or person at the time of the sale that's recorded with the Registered Deeds Department, it's really easy to do, you guys. You do it online. It's free. If there was additional debt, that debt has a priority claim to the surplus. I know the other people online don't tell you guys the truth. That's the truth. So we teach you how to research that real quick. Make sure there isn't a debt in the way, because otherwise we're just going to chase stuff we can't put together, right? We're going to make people mad because we're going to say there's 50 grand there, but they got a $60,000 IRS tax lien. We can't get the money out for them. Okay. If there are creditors with a claim or judgment in place prior to that being set up, that's going to kill the deal. So what we do, that's your job. Research the debt, fill out a worksheet with that information, give us a few documents, copy the deed, that type of thing. All this stuff you get online, send it into us, and we do the rest. We contact them, find them, contact them, mail them, put it under contract, hire the mobile notary and the attorney. Always use an attorney. Give them 10% as good faith money up front. And when we get it out, we give you 27% of that. We'll also give you on your first deal. Well, we'll give you $500 as an advance whenever we get one under contract to help you guys keep rolling. But we'll give you $597 on the first one, the very first one that you turn in that we got under contract and you want an advance on. So we'll definitely do that too. But yeah, we handle that. We do not share our attorneys. That's by their request, because people are taking shortcuts, not checking debt, sending stuff to them. They're like, to a T, our attorney said, do not send us any more people, because they're not doing what you guys do. They're not double checking everything. So we don't share that, but we teach you how to do that if you want to do it on your own. That's in the ebook too. But as far as the way we do it, your job is to research. With the National Surplus, your job is to research debt. Okay. Research the debt, get your own list, research the debt on that, turn it in, and we take it from there. With the Premier 16, now that's 27% of net we give you, which works out to around 8 or 9% of the gross. $50,000 deal, you're going to make $4,000 to $4,500. No joke. That's a lot. Keep in mind, we're paying the owner, right? We're paying the claimant, rather. That's a big deal. The other one is Premier 16, which works out to about double the payment. But on that one, in addition to you have to get your own list. then research the debt. But you also have to find them and call them to make sure they're willing to speak with us and they're not working with somebody yet. Then you hand it over and we give you 16% of gross when we get it out of court. We'll also give you that advance that I talked about. Great question. It's not hard to get leads as far as, just so you know that. How long does SFR work a surplus fund file once it's submitted and placed on a list of workable files? Does SFR work stealth files up until the auction sales date? Yeah, we work up to like a few days before the auction sales date on stealth, simply because I'm out of time. I can't get them to sign the deed when I'm 2 days out. I can't overnight it, get it back, and then overnight it to the county to get it recorded in less than 3 or 4 days. So, but as far as the surplus funds file, once it's submitted and placed on a list, it's up to about 1.5 years that we'll work it. We work the snot out of it. Which surplus program has the best conversion rate, Rena? Great question. Okay, the one that's the best, honestly, by just a little bit, just beats out national surplus, is panning for hidden surplus funds. Always been that way. That's because there's very little competition in that, because you have to create your own list. We teach you how to do that by looking at opening bid, final sales price, and some other tweaks to make it accurate. It's not just as simple as that. We look at that, teach you how to do it. You're kind of making your own list as time progresses. Some of this you've got to actually do as the foreclosure is coming. So it takes a little more time on your end, but we give you 40% of the net. Okay. That's a lot. Okay. That's the highest paying one we've got. And that's the one, you got some of you guys have heard me tell about Pete, Yuri, you've got some stuff, a couple of them under contract too. There's Ken's got one. A lot of people are working and doing very well, but Pete in particular, last month was his month, 25,000 so far in the last 30 days. And we're not even at the end of that. I'm about to send him another 2,500. So, and that's on panning. Panning is barely edging out national, but it's enough to where it makes a difference to you guys. Now, yeah, that's $9.97 during the sale. But if you don't get it during the upcoming sale, you will not be able to get it unless you buy platinum. We just want some more researchers with that right now. We know we've got room in the program for it. Just, hey, Sean, did the stream start 10 minutes ago? Stuck on the old link up until now. Thanks for the new link. It just, yeah, I apologize. I don't know what the heck's going on. I just don't. I think it was an issue with this guy, my Yeti Nano. And yes, it was plugged in, and yes, it was on. Don't know what to tell you. Just wanted to ask about what is the will pay advance up to $597. We put deals together for members. It was in the email. Yes, Chusha. So what we will do, and I know you probably already heard this, but we already give you advances. Once we put one under contract and we reach out to you with that, you can take up to a $500 advance, and we'll give that to you once we have it under contract. An attorney double check the money's still there, no claims been made, that type of thing. Good deal. We've upped that to where, and this is to members too. The next one you want to take, if you want to do that, even if you've already taken one, it'll be $5.9. I'll go up to $597 on the advance, and then after that, it'll be $500. But the first one, you guys, if you want to take an advance, it's $597. We up that because the price of the National Surplus Funds Program is $597, and we figured let's give people the opportunity to hit the ground running, turn some stuff in. We get one under contract. They got their ebook payment back before it even hits. That's kind of a big deal, in my opinion. Let's see. Dorothy, Sean, look out for my submission deals this month. That's great. Dorothy, I'm looking forward to it. Cherie, what is the payout to a researcher under the panning program? It's 40% of net. And Cherie, I can tell you that's going to work out to, depending on, we have a rolling split with the seller, with the claimants, but it's typically works out to about 14%. I'm not kidding, of the gross. No joke. So on a $50,000 deal, or 49,900, whatever, 50 grand, you're talking about $7 grand. No joke. I'm not kidding you. It's based on net, 40% of net. So we got to pay the attorneys, got to pay the claimant, and the admin costs, like sending out the mobile notaries, doing a title recheck, stuff like that. Court fees that are included in the attorney stuff. But it works out to about 14 on average. It could be higher, can be a little bit lower. 14% of the gross. That's stupid high payout. And that's another reason why, besides the fact that we want to limit it, it's more expensive. Well, we got some good questions coming in, guys. Are Dflips still going as strong as they have in the past, Donna? Yes, Dflips are going well, particularly North Carolina and Florida, which are separate programs only available in bundles. But those two in particular are doing really well. North Carolina has a really crazy loophole where there's a 10-day upside bid where it can keep getting reset. So we have all this extra time to go after it. Stealth has been a little slower than I thought it was going to be on the start. And I think the reason for that, guys, is so many sellers are redeeming that property. And it wasn't like that before. That will stop. That will go back to normal and that'll pick up. But right now, if for instance, you have the stealth program and you also have the national surplus or the panning or the premier 16, work one of the other programs right now, just because we're finding the stealth is kind of a slow go because the number of sellers that are redeeming their property prior to the sale hitting. I can't work with those people, right? Because stealth is trying to get them under contract for surplus funds prior to the sale. If they're going to redeem the property, there is no surplus funds, right? So, Johnny, which states pay out the fastest? Actually, Johnny, they're all about the same. So it's going to take us about a month. I said this earlier, to get it under contract and get it all signed and sent back to us. At that point, it'll take another month and a half to 2 because it'll take a month we always use attorneys, for the attorney to get the county or whoever's holding it to review the claim and grant it, or to get in front of them. There's states where you have to motion, Ohio, North Carolina. You have to actually get somebody out there to motion in front of the court a lot of times. And it'll take the attorney to get in front of them a month. At that point, it's granted either that way or to get reviewed. Then it'll take, well, it's really 2 to 4, but let's say 4 weeks. So a total of 3 months to get paid. There's really no difference really across the board. And what's wild, what we have found, I used to tell people, oh, this state's a little slower, this one's faster. It's not really the state, it's the county. So that's the deal. The slowest paying, I would say, in tax overages would be California, simply because they won't even review a claim for a year after they've recorded the deed from the foreclosure. No joke. Kind of makes it hard. And I'm sure they're doing that on purpose. And you said within weeks. So I think I answered that one. Wow, I need to really catch up. Sorry, guys, that I'm behind. Nice. I'm joining. Takes away all the extra headache. You got it. You know what, Kevin? I'm glad you said that, because I think, especially if people have been involved in this or really know how this niche, this industry works, this niche, they understand we really are taking on the majority of the heavy lifting, and we'd love to have you on board. Willie, so if I pay $5.97 and get the list, you research and pay 16%. No, you get the list, Willie. We teach you how to go get a list, take that list, research the debt online. I'm not giving you 16% of gross just for turning in a list. You got to research the debt. It doesn't take long, guys. At first, it's a new skill set. Let's be honest. It's a new skill set. It's going to take you 30, 40 minutes because you're still trying to figure out how to do title work online. We teach you how to do it. If you read the ebook twice for comprehension, take your time, okay? There's a file example in there. Very important you do that. Take that name, go online. Like Jeff wrote that portion of the ebook. Take that and go online and plug it in like he did. Just do it step by step. You'll absolutely get it, and you'll get it down to where the research portion is only 15 minutes, okay? So you'll be researching you're going to get a list, research the debt, and turn that in. And with the national surplus, we'll give you 27% on that, which works out to 8 or 9% of the gross. If you want the Premier 16, which you can add on to that, if you want the Premier 16 or get it in the Pro Pack with the National if you want. That's what most people do. If they're going to start out as a starter, they'll get the National Surplus. It's called the Pro Pack, and it'll have the Premier 16 in it. And the reason they do that is if you want the 16% gross, you have to call them. You have to find them and call them, which means you're going to mail them. You're going to call them. You're going to have skip tracing software, whatever. You do all that, get a hold of them to make sure you got the right person and will speak to us, and then turn it in, and you'll make double the work, double the pay. Fair enough, right? So the Pro Pack's really good to get as a starter, because what a lot of people is they think they're going to call and get in touch with people, and then they don't. And they go, you know what? I was going to try to turn this in as a Premier 16. I made a quick call to see if I get a hold of them. I can't. I'm going to turn it as national and make it Sean's problem. And that's a smart thing to do. Is the training on video? How long is it? So, Julie, it's a good question. Here's the thing. This is a new skill set. Just like college, and it's not college level by any means, but just like college, the way you learn is not going to be just video and lecture. Yes, there's some video component here, but you've got to read the ebook twice for comprehension. If you guys, if there's anybody here, I'm not making fun. I'm just being very upfront. If there's anybody here that has like an issue with reading, this is not your thing. You're going to need to read the ebook twice for comprehension, do the file example. You're learning a new skill. That takes time and effort. If you're going to do this as a partner, we're only talking about 50 pages or so. Okay. I've had people turn stuff in a couple days. Still, got to read it twice for comprehension, do that file example. And then you can, there's also a link in the ebook that goes to a resources page. There's additional video training on there. There's updates on there. There's an active files list on there. So when you get your own list, you can take the names off your list and check that active files list, which we update Monday through Friday, and make sure we don't already have that file. So you don't research a file that we already have. We do not have a saturation issue at all in this business, but it's nice that we do that to make sure you're not wasting any time. It also has links on there to to video training that also helps with this. What are the specifics of the 50/50 program, Rena? So that's only available in the Platinum Bundle for $1,997. With that program, it's very similar to the Premier 16, except we will actually do the skip tracing for you, so you don't have to do that portion of it. Yeah, Jeff went over the percentages again. Eric, are you still seeing 60% of stealth cases cancel? If you mean cancel, that the owner is paying off or redeeming the property prior to the sale, yeah, that sounds about right. Willie, thank you, SFR support. Johnny, oh, I thought this was for people that lost their house and are owed excess proceeds, but it's also for pre-auction. Yeah, we have, Johnny, we also have DFlipping where we can purchase property before the sale, and we will partner with that too. There's a lot of, I want to say, different bonus programs, bundles that we have that we're going to be selling that have both of those in it. A lot of people like doing that, combining them, having a couple of DFlip programs also with the surplus, because it gives you, like, for instance, if you were to turn something as a DFlip where we're trying to buy the property before the sale and then flip it and give you a portion of the money, and it's a lot of money when we do that. But if we don't put it under contract and you follow up behind it and get it on the list, now you can turn it as a surplus. So you're getting two shots at the same property. So people like hitting it pre and post. Good question. Really good question. Yeah, and by the way, we wrote all this stuff. We're never affiliate marketers for anybody else. This is stuff we have done ourselves, and we did it from the ground up. And this is something, listen carefully, that none of my competitors can say in the surplus fund business. I've never bought any of their programs. They've all bought somebody else's. And I'll tell you right now, majority bought mine and then tweaked it. Okay, which is the best partner? Ooh. Hold on, sorry. Skipped ahead too much. This is great, guys. By the way, I appreciate all the interaction, and thank you so much for the guys that stuck through this. All right. I thought this was for people. Which is the best partnership program when we get the list, research, and provide the info to you? You get the list, David. We teach you how to do that. You research the debt and you turn it in. That would be the National Surplus Funds Program. It's $597. By the way, guys, again, only available September the 1st from 10 a.m. Eastern Time to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you haven't reserved your spot on that page, surplusfundsriches.net, click on the products page. If you have not reserved your spot, if we sell out, you can't buy it. So if we sell it in the first 2 hours, we're done. Show up early. Or if you register on there, that will allow you to buy even if we sell out. If you put your registration information, your name, phone number, and email, that's it. And you can always unsubscribe, but just so you know. We can work any state, correct? It depends on the program. Man, you're asking me some great questions. Depends on the program. So with National Surplus and Premier 16 and 50/50 and even panning, we will not work. Sorry, I'm screwing up there with chat. We will not work Colorado. Too difficult. North Carolina, you will not be able to get a list. You can only work North Carolina with panning. Florida is a separate program for us because their statutes are so daggone different. You can get Florida in a couple of different bundles, the Emerald and Platinum, I know for sure. I think you might also be able to get it in the Best of the Best. What else here? North Carolina won't be able to get a list of panning only. Florida is a separate program, and we will not work Colorado. Other than that, you're good to go. Are you affiliated with David Church and his program? No, I'm not. We built our own program from the ground up. We're not affiliated with anybody. Funny man, I love the programs. What's the normal turnaround time after submissions of documents? 3 to 6 months? Yeah, probably closer to 3 to 4. I always try to undersell, but yeah. Johnny, please talk more about the Donna Hello. Are Dflips still going as strong as they have in the past? Dflipping. So what Dflipping is, Johnny, is it's very similar. Your work is very similar. You're finding properties that are coming up for tax sale, foreclosure. You're researching the debt, the value of the property, and the ownership. Make sure you got the right person. You don't have to contact them with the national Dflip. You fill out a worksheet with that information, turn it in. We find them, call them, put the deal together to buy the property. Usually we will, in order to do that, we'll pay off whatever the foreclosing debt is. We will then allow the owner to also stay in there for a couple of months after. We will pay them out, and we give them some money up front when we record the deed. I'm not going to pay off the taxes and stop the sale unless I've recorded the deed in my name, right? I'm not paying off taxes on a property I don't own. So I don't have a problem with that. But anyway, I record the deed, pay off the taxes. Usually it's a tax deal. Pay off the taxes to stop the sale, give the owner some money to get them through, let them stay there a couple of months. At the end of the couple of months, they got to be out. For every day they're late, it's a lot. Like, for instance, if I was going to pay them 50 grand on a house worth 120, whatever, I don't know what it is. But regardless, is if they're late, there's a penalty for every day late. They always usually call me a couple days before they're supposed to be out. There's a deadline and they need more money for a truck. And I always send it to them, and I don't, that goes toward the total. But that said, I don't like ding them for that. And then they get out and I pay you guys. And it's a great payout. And it's typically shorter than the surplus funds. It's typically 2 to 2.5 months. How old can a claim be, Maurice? So Maurice, I assume you mean how long can the list be? Because that's how old can the list be? And there's parameters on that on the page where you need to know that either the list is current, in other words, it's been updated. It can be, hey, in some states, it stays with the county for years. And if it's still on that list and the county says, hey, this is a current list, we'll go after it. And that's it. If it's an old list, it's probably not updated, and we're not going to want to work that. And we teach you all this stuff, guys, on the resources page attached from the ebook to the ebook. I never got an advance. Good for you. My last 2 pending cases, the first the county said wasn't enough money. Yeah, we have that occasionally happen. That's why we double check it with the attorney. And Makiewicz was a cluster. Shasha, Makiewicz is paying out. If I remember correctly, that was Jersey. Anyway, that's paying out, and I should have the check in 2 weeks. Yes, it was a cluster. It was oh God, I'm glad you brought this up. Thank you. It was an airship deal. And we had an issue with her not wanting to sign some final paperwork and all that. Finally got everything through. And the county finally took it because our attorney strong-armed the snot out of them. But I'm so glad you brought that up. Yes, that was, we thought it was more. But that's because there was a creditor that we didn't know about till the last minute that made a claim. But it's still going to be $70-some thousand. So it's going to be a really good payout to you. I'm glad you brought that up, Joshua. Johnny, states that pay faster. I thought I heard in the video that California can take a year. They can. I'm not going to, guys, we don't lead you to states because then everybody goes over like a horde and horde, H-O-R-D-E. Don't think I said something else. Goes over to that state and works the snot out of it. And it just doesn't work out for anybody. California is difficult to work because it takes forever. Okay. North Carolina will not give you a list. You can only work it with the panning program. Florida is a separate program for us because the statutes are so different. That's only available in bundles. Other than that, it's pretty wide open, and we do not lead you to a certain state. Anyway. Yeah. Maybe I'm not understanding this process. Is this for people that have lost their house and are owed money from the proceeds? Yes, it is, Johnny. Buying out debts on properties that have sold, or are you going to and collecting a different? We do both, Johnny. Go to the website, surplusfundsriches.net. Go to the products tab. There's downloads on the products page that go over all of our different programs. So yes, we do work surplus funds, and we're the best in the business. We also do flips. Hold on. Man, I'm sorry. You guys are really cranking out some questions right now. Here we go. Obviously, no tax liens, right? Eric, I started out with the Pro Pack. Does the 3-file rule apply for both combined, or do I need to turn in 3 files for each program? Yeah, it's a 3-file for each program and then you can turn as many as you want per day. That's fine. Yeah. Dorothy, Lord have mercy, Sean. It's truth. Yes, ma'am. AC, I hope I have a positive outcome soon. Good. Yeah. Keep plugging away, AC. Make sure you turn them in. Keep your pipeline full. Surplus is also in the Emerald bundle. Sorry, I'm glad you said that, Jeff. I didn't realize that. Sheriff's deeds. How many pages do you need? Sheriff's deeds. How many pages do you need? Let's see if SFR support jumped in here. I don't know your. I don't know. I don't understand your question, Ken. Willie, interested in Dflips. That's great. It's called the National Dflip. It's on the surplusfundsriches.net site on the products tab. It'll be available on the first Labor Day. Cool J, greetings. I noticed you started allowing turn-ins in Washington State along with a few other formerly banned states. What changed? We found better attorneys that we felt more comfortable with and that were capable of. So some attorneys that you run into, they're afraid to strong arm the counties and give them crap because they figure you don't want to go to the bathroom where you eat. Okay. Right. That's how they think. Oh my God, I don't want to be trouble. And I want to be buddies with these guys. Then you meet attorneys that are like, screw them. This is the law. Those are the attorneys I like. Yes. We finally got the attorneys that we needed in those states that we formerly wouldn't work. If you have a file on the national program since April, how long do you think it would take to get it under contract, or if it will at all? So Riley, like I said, the average is about 3 months. You're just beyond that. I'm hoping that you've turned in more than that, more than one, because I did a conversion video. We usually don't go into that. So we put one on YouTube and it goes into what can happen. People die and we will work heirs. But sometimes people die without heirs. Okay. People die and the heirs don't want to talk to anybody. People move out of the country and we can't find them because skip tracing systems won't work out of the country. A lot of things can happen like that. And of course, we don't convert everything turned in. If you just turned in one, you're going to need to get on it. Yeah. Oh, man, I keep jumping. Sorry. Charles, surplus 50/50. Do you provide the 25 deed holders to skip? Whoa. It's not deed holders. Oh, yeah, it is. I'm sorry. Claimants is what I'm used to calling that. Sorry, Charles. To skip trace, or do we provide? You have to give us the list of names you want us to skip trace. And you double check our list first to make sure we don't have them, right? With the 50/50. Okay. What about Washington? Yes, we will work Washington State, Julie. We won't work DC. It's too corrupt, crazy. It's like Chicago, Cook County, Illinois. Also called Crook County, Illinois. I get real estate 90% in pre-tax lien auction. I love tax lien auctions. Okay, well, we get them before it actually hits the auction. Yeah, deed sales before the deed sale comes up. Riley, if a file has been accepted, is on the list of the national program, is there a method to find out if it is still being worked or not? It's being worked, Riley. It's being worked. They don't all go under contract. Shasha, thank you so much. I thought it was dead for sure. We really need the money. Perfect timing, right? Should be here soon. I literally, I'm excited for you. It's been a little bit. Not your fault. Just stuff was delayed. A couple of them were delayed. R. Harris, with all the news about Florida, is it still a good state to work? It is. It's very competitive. I will tell you, me personally, if I was working Florida, I would work one of two things. I would work mortgage overages instead of tax because everybody's working tax. And they work tax because they publish the title work for you online. That's why everybody's working it. But when everybody's working something, it's a little more competitive, less opportunity. So I'd work mortgage overages. The other thing I would do is there are 90 some counties in Florida. I would work those counties where in order to get a list, you need to request it. It's not a big deal. You call, we teach you how to do it in the ebook. You call, they'll either email you the list, or some counties are so old school, you have to send a self-addressed envelope with a couple of bucks, a check, and then they'll send it to you. No kidding, they'll print it out and send it. But the beauty with those is nobody's working those counties. They don't have the online list. You can't really get it anywhere without requesting it. People are afraid to request. There's a lot of people, I've said this before, there's a lot of people that think that there are black helicopters flying over the courthouse. And if they ask a question, oh my God, they're going to get arrested. It's ridiculous. But that's the thought process. So if I was working Florida, I'd work mortgage overages instead of tax, or at least I'd prioritize that. Or I would work tax and mortgage overages on those counties where they will not give you a list online. I think you got a much better chance with that. Eric says, thank you. You're very welcome, Eric. Johnny, which debts that we buy that pay out the fastest? Which debts? We don't buy debts, Johnny. We buy property. National surplus. We're actually buying the property. I'm going to lead you. Hey, no, I'm so happy you're in here and asking questions, and they're good questions, but you're asking stuff that's not really making sense. So I'm going to tell you to go to the page. No offense, brother. surplusfundsriches.net and read the download on there, because that is going to give you an overview of all of our different programs. Sorry, brother. I got a lot going here. Walacia, when is the next deals board? Very soon. I've got to take another pic and throw that up there. I actually sent a couple. Anyway, we were just updating it again today and taking a look at it. Do you close deals in the state of New York, Charles? Yeah, and that's opened up a little better. We're able to get better, more accurate, or you guys are more accurate information on what's being held. Before, the big issue, I think I actually agree with one of my competitors, is we were actually calling and saying, hey, we need to double check the money's being held. And they go, oh, we'll get back to you in a day. And they call the next day and go, sorry, we're not holding it. Because during that time period, that one day, they were sending the money off to the state. It's a little scammy thing they were playing in New York, in a lot of the areas in New York. Not all of them, but in a lot. When is the next? How's your new puppy working out, Cherie? Really good. I think she's crashed right over there. Thank you for asking. Went to the beach for the first time in her life last week. Do you close deals? Eric, how does the DFlip program differ from Stealth? Because we're buying the property. We're not putting a deal together. With Stealth, we're putting a deal together, recording the deeds, so we're the owner at the time of the sale, so we can claim the surplus after the sale. With the DFlip, we're actually buying the property from them and paying off the taxes to stop the sale. There's no surplus funds in the DFlip. Good question. Is there challenges collecting for properties that are part of a trust? No. And I'll tell you why. As long as we know who the trustee for the trust is, we're good. Just understand, one of the mistakes people make is they see a trustee situation where it's a property that's in a trust, okay? And they see a trustee, and the owners that originally put it in that trust are dead, and they see the trustee, and the trustee died, and there was no co-trustee for the trust or no backup trustee for the trust. They think the heirs of the trustee can do that. No. Heirship, being a trustee for a trust does not transfer as an heirship type situation. So you just understand that. And that's where one of the things for financial planning, I've had a family that have put stuff in trust, and I've told them, hey, you need a trustee for it and a backup trustee, or administrator is what it's called in some areas. You need a first and a second person in line here, because something can happen to the first guy, right? Or girl. Are there challenges collecting for properties part of trust? Sorry, buddy. Johnny, I effing love this guy. Hey, we're straight up, Johnny. I'm 59 years old, man. I'm going to be 60 in February, and we don't have time for the BS, and we think we're the best ones on the planet. Pure and simple. We really do. 40,000 plus cases worked. Been training in the surplus and in the flipping business for about 20. Been partnering over 10, maybe close to 15. Nobody has been doing it. No other trainer's been doing this stuff as long as we have. Nobody else wrote all their stuff themselves. Nobody else beta tested all of it. And we're not an affiliate marketer for anybody else on anything. So I think we're the GOAT. All right. Can I claim a surplus tax deed sale in Texas 2 years old as of August 2025 on my lost property? So, Jim, I need to make some things clear, and this is not what you want to hear, but part of our job talking to claimants and so forth is to kind of get them in the right headspace and make them understand where they are. And by the way, I'm going to be wrapping up this up soon. Are you sure that you had, just because it's sold at an auction, tax or mortgage foreclosure, just because it's sold doesn't mean surplus was created, okay? So are you sure there's money there? There was money there to begin with. Texas does have a fairly short window where I think it's sent to the state. But having said that, did you get notice that you had money? Because you might not have had an overage. You might not have sold for enough for the overage to create an overage or a surplus funds amount, excess proceeds, whatever you want to call it. And you can call the county and find that out, especially if you have a case number on that. But you're going to need to know, did you have additional debt? If there was additional debt, that additional debt is a priority claim to the surplus. Did you go into bankruptcy? The bankruptcy court is priority claim in front of pretty much everybody. I think they duke it out with the IRS, and that's it. So having said that, call the county. But again, you got to know that there was surplus created. It's not always created. Johnny, I thought that if there is something where if there is a debt, second or third position, you can buy that debt at a discount, then you collect the full amount after the auction. We have a surplus creditor partnership where you can work with creditors that were in place that have a priority claim to the surplus. You'll see that. I believe that you can get that as an add-on in the sale. Good question. I didn't understand what you were asking, Johnny. I know this might be off topic. Do you know of a way to find properties of people who have died and don't have heirs? I mean, find properties of people who have died and don't have heirs. I don't know why you'd want to do that. If they died and they don't have heirs, you don't have anybody to buy it from. You follow me? You can't buy from a dead person and there's no heir and there's been no deed transferred. No, I don't know a way to do that. We run into it when we skip trace people. Good question. I mean, that's wild. Makes you think. And that's worth it. For real. Do you have any incentives for top performance? Yeah. Hey, Jen, we pay you. And if you're a top producer, you make more. We pay very high percentages. National surplus funds, we pay 27% of our net for about 10% of the work. Okay. Premier 16, we pay 16% of the gross for probably about 20% of the work. There's the panning, we pay 40% of net, and that's about 25% of the work. I mean, we pay you well. We don't give a bonus on top of that. We pay the absolute best we can right out of the chute. Can a judgment amount be used as an opening bid? This is for panning. Thanks. Hey, Carol, that'll be on your the information. I'm assuming that you got that program, right? Because you wouldn't be asking that. All right. That's explained in the ebook and on the resources page how to look at that. But there's a little more. What I'm trying to say is it's not just, oh, here's the foreclosure judgment. Well, the foreclosure judgment that's showing for you is $100,000 even. Okay. That's not a real judgment amount. That's not a real opening bid. That's just them getting interest and people getting out there. It could be the banks at 200. It's just a way to, you got to know these little tricks with that. You contact us for ACH info for payment, or do we send it to you? Joshua, I will contact you when I'm ready, when I'm usually a week out from paying, when I know the checks come in, and it's going to go through my attorney, my central attorney, and go through my account. Excuse me. I will double check that I have the right information, double check I have the correct info for the 1099, all that. And then I can ACH W, or if you don't like, some people don't like that. They don't like me sending an electronic check, so to speak. If you don't like that, that's fine. I can send it out by check if you would prefer that. I can wire as well, which uses a slightly different number. But if I wire, I'm going to take out the cost of the wire because that's going to cost me money to do that. Usually it's like 35 bucks. It's not cheap to wire. All right. Yes, 53,000 surplus. That's Jim. Cool J. Sean, what about the trust that has a law firm as their trustee? I mean, you could work that, sure. I don't know if I'd have to check the rules that we've got because Jeff handles the front line as far as being a partner and sending that in, but you can work it yourself all day. You can become the heir. Hey, Johnny, I don't even want to know what you're talking about right now, brother, because somebody has to give you the right to be the heir. And if you're talking about going in and pretending like you're the heir, dude, I would not try that. I'm not saying you're trying to do anything shady. The no-name adult probate. Yes, sir. Jen Marie, LOL. Johnny, oh my God, give me that info. Owners who have died and have no heirs. Jim, no bankruptcy, no additional debt on the property. Okay, Jim, did you get notice that there was money created, that there was a surplus funds or overage created? If so, contact that county, man. They'll tell you what you need to do to get started as the ex-owner, as long as you're the last deed holder. Cool J, is the current wacky high housing market trending to high percentage rate of created surplus funds? It has been. Cool J, right after, great questions. And then I'm going to wrap this up soon. I see another one here, but so COVID jacked it up. I mean, honest to goodness, before COVID, the average surplus funds retrieval was around 25 grand. COVID turned that into closer to 50. And we're right around that now, 45. I'd say the average is 45 to 50. We do a ton of stuff over 100. We do a ton of stuff in the 30 to 50 range. And the average works out to around $45,000, $50,000 per deal. So it's a really good average. We do have minimums. I think it's 20 grand for national, 25. It's different. It's different for each program because we've got to build slush in there. But yeah, it has helped quite a bit, and we're recession proof. There's always going to be surplus funds. Josh, I'd rather do ACH debit. Definitely. Yeah, me too. I had a lot of check fraud before, and it was an issue. Thanks for attending. Says if I guess that's Jeff telling me to close the doors. Lynn, last one I'll answer. Why did you change the way of payment from a flat percentage? What percentage of research accounts convert? The reason was, Lynn, and by the way, it turns out that pays higher, the 27% of net. That's why we started paying that. That also allowed us to where if it dinged us down below, say, a 20 grand minimum, we'd still go after it because we were paying on the net instead of the total. So it was a way for everybody to still get paid on that kind of thing. Thank you, says No Name. Thank you, says Donna. That's great. Guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for your patience with the technical difficulties we had. I hope everybody has a great night.